So today we're going to continue our Fujiya series with the 10-inch plier wrench. Now they call it the Power Monkey Pliers. It is the model FLM 45BG. The Power Monkey Pliers. Let's take it out of the pack, take a look at it. I'm assuming the weight is 514 grams. And it opens up to 45 millimeter, where I think the Knipex opens up to 52. Look at these two pliers. Now I'm assuming, since they're both made in Taiwan, probably made in the same factory. This one though, the pliers wrench, or what they call the monkey pliers, seems like it's got a better finish to it than the water pump pliers here. You can tell these are a little bit rougher looking up in here around the forged area. It's not near as polished as these are. Still has the same black finish. Still, these are the Kurikan. These are the Kurikan models, so you'll see that on the handle. Same type of handle, exact same handles, material. Let's look at some of the features here. As you'll notice, the first thing I notice when you pull it out is these are the Knipex 250s. They just happen to have the comfort grip handle. But you see the cam action here? All of these models that I'm going to show you have these cam action, just like this. This is the separate piece here, the cam. This one, you don't see a cam on it at all. The cam is actually hidden inside here. Now this piece here is still separate from it's still floating, still separate. But you don't see the cam. It's all hidden inside the pliers. Another thing you'll notice, if you flip over the Knipex, yeah, this says 0 to 52, and you can see on here the scale just goes to 45, so you get a little bit more reach on these as far as jaw opening. But another thing you'll notice right off is that this bar here, this little steel that holds the button in and pushes it back, most of them have that. This is the NWS. This is a Gedore. They all have that same action. This one doesn't have anything like that. So I'm assuming that there's a spring inside here instead of being on the outside like this, like the Knipex. Now if you look, it's kind of hard to see, being everything black here. If you notice this button, if you turn it over, I don't know if you can see it too well from there, but it's got 3 gears, 3 little notches in here. And those 3 notches are what all this action is depending on, these 3 notches on this side. So when you push this button, it disengages these 3 notches where you can move it, and then when you let go, it re-engages the 3 notches into these opposing teeth. Pretty ingenious idea they had of hiding everything. Now, you know, it's yet to be seen what's going to happen if these get dirty. They get mud inside here. It seems like it'd be a lot easier to clean out these with this little bar here, and also the channel. So if you look, all of these models have this little channel that this bottom jaw rides on. This little channel here, everything's riding on. You go to Hazet, same thing. You see that channel? It all rides on this channel here. The channel on these is actually inside here, you see that channel grooved out inside versus outside. And that may get dirty, may be hard to clean that too. I don't know. I guess time will tell as you use these. But you know what? They have a great finish. They don't feel bad. When you look at the build quality versus the Knipex, I mean, you can see this back spline here on this top. Look how wide it is. Now, a lot of that's due because this is the single portion, and this, of course, is the double portion coming down. But even if when you flip it over, you can see it's still, you get a lot more metal on the Knipex than you do on this Fujiya. It's not quite as well built as the Knipex, of course. So, I mean, you know, they seem to be fine. They're not, you can just tell right off the bat when you pick them up. They're a lot stronger and seem to be better built than the Fujiya. Just a little bit more thinner metal everywhere. I'm assuming as long as they don't get dirty and you keep them oiled, they'll work just fine. You know, they only put the little double metal on a small portion, where here they run it all the way down. With Knipex, you got a little place to put your finger here. It's got grooves on it. You put your finger there, your thumb there, and it keeps it out of the way of this little bar on the back. Very smooth. A little bit stiffer here, a little clunkier, but not too bad. Of course, my favorite, and nobody can compete with the Hazet. Just butter smooth here with this little lever. Here's the NWS gripper, they call it. We've done a review on these. The only thing about these are the settings are, you don't get as many settings as you do on the other ones, but very smooth. Still a well-built pair of pliers. These are one of my favorites also. Then you can go to the Gedore. Now this happens to be the VDE handles, but the Gedore is very smooth also. The only thing about the Gedore, like we talked about in the pliers wrench review we did, you can't push the button when the handle's closed. You have to. I'm sorry, you can't push the button with the handle open. You have to close it, push the button, and then you can make your adjustments. And then you can move it wherever you want to with the handle. But it has to be closed for you to push that button. Smooth though. The Gedore is very smooth. Let's do a lineup here. Knipex, Hazet, NWS, Gedore. First impressions. Once again, least favorite. These are not as bad as the water pump pliers are, because this at least has kind of refined polish here. I mean, still, you know, very polished, very good looking pair of pliers, but you can just tell the build quality is not the same as these other 4 pair of pliers here. It's just, they're just not. Let's go see how they work on the test rig. You can see here you get gripping pressure on this side, and of course on the bottom. Feels good. I mean, in the ratcheting portion. Easy to work, really. I mean, they work, you know, after you get them set, these plier wrenches are going to be the same. I think really what's going to matter is, are they going to rust? We'll look at that. A little bit later review, of course. And are they going to get dirty in here and start sticking? Right now, they're not bad. If we go to the Knipex, I don't know if I'm just used to these Knipex pliers wrenches, but they just feel better to me. I don't know why. These and the Hazets are awesome. So that's Knipex. Feels great. Go to Hazet. Now with the Hazet, you can set them with one hand. And they just work great. That's why I like these Hazet. One-handed. You never have to take your hand off the handle if you want to do it two-handed. Versus these, you got your hands on the handle. You got to let up. You got to move your hand up and move them. And it's not near as easy to set one-handed, of course. You can do it, but it's going to take you a little while to get it done. That's why these are really my favorite. Okay, if we look at the price, now this is today's price on Amazon. It's $36.99 for the Fujiya pliers wrench. And for the Knipex, same type of handle, not chromed, $65.75. That's on Amazon today. So I'll leave a link in the description. I mean, if you look at it for the price, these aren't bad pliers. Much rather have the Knipex, much better build, more money. But these are not bad for the price. I think you could probably get into a pair of NWS. I haven't pulled them up lately, but I'll leave a link in the description. I think the NWS are going to be right around the same price as these, which I would actually much rather have the NWS gripper than these. But like I said, you saw how they performed back there on the test. I mean, they all did about the same. After you get them set, they all work pretty close to the same. It seemed like it was more comfortable using the Knipex. Of course, with the Hazet, you can set it with one hand. It's smooth as butter, but you're going to be paying over $100 for these. So these aren't bad. Yeah, I'd recommend them for the price. But if it was me, I would buy something else like the NWS, or save up your money, buy the Knipex. So that's the pliers wrench review versus the Fujiya. See you next week.